Okay. Today I am interviewing the one and only MOSHE GRONER.
Yeah. Veilig Yom Tiv, Chanukah. How are you? Reb
Good.
Yehuda.
Do you mind if I play one of your songs before we get started?
It'll mamish be an honor. I hope I know it, and also some of them are long, so hopefully you pick a short one so we don't waste too much time, you know? Come on. Yum da di da yum bum di dum da di da yum bum di dum la yum di dum bum bum di yum. I la di da yum bum di da di da yum bum di dum bum bum di yum ba yum bum bum. I la di da yum di da la yum di da da di da da da. I na 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 ma la yum da di da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. I la 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 ma la ya ni la da la 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 la. Ding da di da yum bum di da yum bum di da bum bum di da ya di da. I da di da yum bum I da di da yum bum di da la ya di da yum bum now.
Okay.
Wow, not a bad niggin right there.
Yeah. Where did you grow up and where do you live now?
We'll answer the second one first. I live now in Jackson, New Jersey, the town where they do not provide trash removal services. I have to pay for that on my own. Fun fact. And I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. And when I say that, you know, when I tell someone where I'm from, I try to put on that New York accent just for a second. From a little shtetl right outside Crown Heights called Flatbush. That's where I grew up.
Yeah. If you know Joey like making fun too, you know Joey Newcomb?
Do I know Joey Newcomb? I'm Zeicha, yes, to know Joey Newcomb. I guess I would consider him a buddy, a friend of mine, Baruch Hashem. I actually had to discuss that. I hung out with him last night. The second Ner Hanukkah, there was a Masiba in Lakewood here, and I got to hang out with him for a few minutes. He's a fun guy.
Yeah, he like making fun too of where he grew up and where he yeah.
Yeah. I heard through
Um
the grapevine that he might be your neighbor growing up. I heard maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. I don't know.
yeah, he lives near me.
Gewaldig.
Where did you go for elementary and for high school?
So for elementary school, I was in a yeshiva to start off from kindergarten until fourth grade, a place called Tiferes Eli Melech in Borough Park. And then after that, I switched to, I had an older brother there. He was leaving for high school, and I was a little kid, whatever it was. It was a decision my parents made. We switched to Yeshiva Chaim Berlin on Avenue I in Brooklyn, in Flatbush. And I went there until eighth grade. And then for high school, I went to the Mir Yeshiva in Brooklyn. Um, yeah, that's pretty much my roster of yeshivas.
Did you go did you go to base Medrash or did you go to college?
College. Yes, I went to Beis Medrash, to a place called Yeshiva Gedolah of Mill Basin, Rabbi Brick's Yeshiva in Mill Basin. It was just starting out when I joined. It started a couple of months before I joined there, and now it's going for about I don't know, somewhere between like 10, 11, 12, and 13, 14 years. It's a long time already. Wow. It's crazy to think how long it was. But yeah, Baruch Hashem, that was the when it was starting. I was there for Beis Medrash, and I was there for a couple of years.
You didn't go to college.
Not yet. I am not gone to college yet.
Um,
See what happens.
what did you do after base Medrash?
So after I booked yeshiva, I went to learn, or and I joke around sometimes. Maybe I shouldn't say this in public, but someone asked me, "Where'd you learn?" I said, "I didn't really learn much, but I was enrolled in many yeshivas." So after that,
Yeah.
I enrolled myself in a place called Rabbi Feivelsen's yeshiva, a wonderful place. It's called Derech HaChaim, I believe. And after that, also in Eretz Yisrael, I went to my Rabbi Applebaum's yeshiva, wonderful, tremendous yid. Rabbi Israel Applebaum, he was a big Talmud of Rabbi Scheinberg and Tyra. He was ended up being a Rebbe there, and then he opened his own yeshiva called Applebaum's, which has another name, which I forget at the moment, but it's known as Applebaum's. Baruch Hashem.
Okay. At what age did you start singing and how do you use it in your profession now?
Ah, that's a great question. What age? I don't know. There's no age specifically. We grew up in the house in Brooklyn. My parents are both musical. My father's a chazan. Yom Nehorim time, and random Shabbosim when they put them up for the Yom Tov. And my grandfather was also a chazan in the same way. So it's a musical family. I was singing my whole life, at the Shabbos table. Um, and it's I can't pin an age where I started singing. Where I started doing it, I don't know if I'm professional or anything, but professional, if, as far quote unquote professionally, probably about I mean, I've been doing this, the whole Kumsitz world, I don't know, for 10, 12 years already now, but on a little bit of a higher level, I don't know, I'd say between 5 and 6 and 7 years ago or so, something like that. Maybe a little longer. I don't know.
Okay. How do you first get drawn into music and how do you first get started in music?
Oh, it's a great question too. Drawn. I mean, I think it's like I said, my family is a musical family. As Mamela, it's always we were always singing at the table, and we were always it was a musical environment. So I guess what drew me in was the fact that I was around it a lot. And what was the second part of the question?
How do you first get started in
It
music?
started. Okay, so I mean, there was this concept called doing gigs back in the day, and it's a long running concept, but back then it was like, a neighbor hired you, this guy hired you, you get in with this crowd, they help you do this kumsitz thing. And I think the whole industry started off pretty much as like a kumsitzing kind of thing, and it sort of morphed into what it is today. But there was, a little here, a little there, a little Purim action, a little Sheva brachas, a little something in someone's living room, a little, a little Shlomo Carlebach yard side thing, and then I think that's how I got into it, and one thing led to the next kind of thing.
What kind of theme or message are you trying to promote, and how do you connect with your audience?
That's a great question. I keep on reacting that it's a great question. It's a good question, because they all are. They're good questions. What messaging? I would think simcha. I don't know, simcha Sachaim, trying to disconnect from the world and connect to the music for an hour, 2, 3, whatever it is. Um, you know, and just try to give that messaging over to the crowd. I don't know, in some way, shape, or form. I guess by bringing it with the singing. Who knows? Rabbi Yehuda, is it possible we could take a break for 1 second, or no? Is that not a possibility?
We can take a break.
Okay, so how does this work? I should call you back on the Zoom in 2 minutes?
Yeah, we can stop. You can just turn off your camera. It
Okay.
said stop video, and you can turn off your mic.
Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, Yehuda, you with me over here? Am I with you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I don't know if you edit this or you chop it up after, but truth be told, I wasn't so focused because I was my wife's a doctor with one of my kids. Everything's okay, Baruch Hashem. It was just like an important question for the moment. So I have to just give her a call and ask her and answer the question and discuss it for a second. Ask me the last question again. I want to be able to give a laser focused answer if you don't mind. Can you do that?
Yeah. What kind of theme or message are you trying to promote, and how do you connect with your audience?
Oh, that's a great question. As I said last time, I keep on saying that. It's a good question. Connecting with the audience, I think, is from a very we'll go with a shallow level at first. I think that if you you bring music that they're not maybe like expecting, and mainly you get their attention. It's like you bring a song out of left field or like something that's not automatically going to come next in people's brain. Maybe that's a way to just connect, like on a simple, basic, shallow level. You just to connect, and you get to get to fabrang together. It becomes more of a fabrang than a performance. I'm not a performer. I'm a fabranger. We fabrang. As far as the messaging, I don't really say words. I sing songs mostly on a mic, but I think the messaging is just simcha, disconnection from the outside world for the few hours that you're going to be farbrengen kumsitz or farbrengen wedding or farbrengen whatever the occasion is, whatever the event is, a sheva brachas, just a party, geschmack. Let's just have a good time here. Let's play good music, and then all our problems and the rest of the world will still be there when we leave this room or this venue or this event space. So if we can have a good time and preach simcha together and mamish live it, and then that's the I think that's the message.
That is a excellent answer. What is your pivotal moment in your musical career that changed everything for you?
Ah, mm, I don't know if there's one pivotal moment. I don't know if there's one of those that exists. I mean, a good story, a good movie, Laylechem, Laylenu. It always has a good punchline, a good pivotal moment like that climax that that give out the time or scene or moment. I don't know if there is one of those in my journey over here. If you'll call it a career, if it is, I don't know. But I think it evolved. It evolved with time. It evolved with time. I started off as a young kid. I learned a lot of things just about the basic, presentation of music and stems let's say vocal training I didn't do for a long time. Then I was hurting myself, so I started doing it. My point is, it's just an evolution. So it started for me from a very low level, and now Baruch Hashem, I brought it up to a different level, and that's it. One pivotal moment, face. I don't know. I don't think I have one. Baruch Hashem, it's we started and it grew and grew, and hopefully we'll go Michael el Chayil, as they say.
Wow. Um, how many singles or albums do you have out now?
How many singles or albums? So I have a couple in a gun, like the niggin you played, the niggin Shasham. It's an old niggin. That's a cover. I have one original song, so that'll be two, and then a different cover will be three. I have a couple. I would say, let's say, I wouldn't call them albums, but they're medleys. Like I have a Shlomo Carlebach medley out there and a Chabad medley out there. One of them is actually called Chabad medley. The other one's called Shirei Shlomo on YouTube. It's like a compilation of L'Chadaidi songs, like in the Shabbos spirit theme. So those are on all the platforms: YouTube, Spotify, 24/6, all the good stuff. So I would say I have about, I don't know, 4 or 5 projects out there. But hopefully, the goal would be to record an album one day. Let's see. I have to start thinking about that.
Um, when you are not performing, what do you do?
I'm always performing. No. So what do? I try. I have a job during the day. I try to sell houses over here in Lakewood in New Jersey. I'm licensed realtor, a licensed real estate salesperson in the state of New Jersey. So for all your real estate needs, buying and selling, investing, whatever it is, reach out. Just plug my day job right there, and that's what I do. That's what I do during the day. Baruch Hashem, I have a family to take care of, and I'm Isaac in different things. I try to learn a little, down a little when I can. That's my life in a nutshell, And then at night, mostly is a lot of the music related stuff. And during the day, also I deal a lot with coordinating different. Let's say if I'm playing at a wedding or whatever, and there's a band involved, I have to book musicians, I have to call this guy, coordinate this thing, book a sound company, speak to people, ideas. I'm always brainstorming on how I could do things better, do things different. Stand out a little. It's a big industry, so in order to be relevant and stay relevant and make your mark and have people view you and see you and just be noticed, you have to always be on top of it. So I try to be on top of it as much as I can, but I try to be myself also as much as I can. That's pretty much what my day looks like besides the music.
Well, that is a busy day.
Little magic trick for you.
You're also a magician.
No, not yet. Not yet. I'm working on it. We'll see. If all else fails, I may switch to magic because you know it's not such a saturated industry. Shlomo Levinger has pretty much got the whole monopoly, so maybe he'll use a good competition.
There was another magician, Joel Spinner,
Is he
Spinner,
like a tall, thin guy? Maybe.
yeah,
Yeah, it could be. I know him from back in the day. I don't know. I'm not so involved in the magician market, more in the musician market. That's my thing.
yeah. Um, how do you use your faith in your music?
Oh, well, first you have to ask me if I have faith. Gewalt.
Do you?
Yeah, we try. About that stuff like that. That's the goal. To be a real balamuna and a real bal batachan. That's what we work on also. But jokes aside, or all seriousness aside, as my friend Batzal says, how do we do that? How do we do that? Maybe from the niggin choice, from the choice of nigunim that we're singing. Um, we try to bring that through, and the choice of nigunim that we're singing, maybe to the crowds, to try to display that on by the gigs, by the performances, by whatever.
Okay. What's your favorite part about part of the creation process?
The creation process, you ask.
Yes.
Um, so here's the thing. I don't have a ton of recording out there, so I'm mostly like a live, I guess, a live Fabranger, singer, if you will, musician. So, but with the projects that I have put out, there's mostly, there was smaller stuff. So the creation process. I mean, going to the studio is always cool. It's always nice to hear different sounds. Like it's like on a gig, if you get if you get messed up with the vocal, if you're off tune, you got to just move on. In the studio, you can always repunch things and re-record things. But I don't. Being that I'm not like the biggest recording artist, I don't have a ton of recording out there, so I'm not really involved in the creation process. But as far as live goes, live Nagunim, live Fabringing, it's Baruch Hashem, it works in my brain. I don't know, somehow it works out, like, going from one nigga to the next or whatever.
May
Um, yeah.
may I ask why you don't have recordings out? Why you don't?
So this it's a good question. I mean, I guess just going off of piggybacking off of some of the answers I previously given, which were this sort of evolved. Like I didn't really expect much out of this. I didn't have like major goals. Like let me get to this place or let me I want to have it go here and go there. It's like it sort of happens. So you find yourself like ooh there's a you're like you're in the grocery store and a kid oh he notices you from 24/6. Oh wow. It's like I don't know. I'm just a guy. I'm just a kid from Brooklyn. So like I don't think in ways like ooh what's my next entertainment? What's my next album? What's my next song? I don't. My brain is not trained to think that way since I'm just I'm just a regular guy. I'm a regular Joey, but that's probably the shot why I don't have a ton. But maybe I should start thinking about it. Let's see. Let's see. Maybe it's
Yeah,
time to get serious. Maybe when L rolls around, I'll get serious and I'll record an album.
yeah. Um, what is your favorite song of your music that you put out so far?
So I think I'm a very I guess I'm a as a singer if a branger. I don't know if I'm an artist, but I have influence from a few different places, like Shlomo Carlebach being Beroisham, and Harav Shlomo Carlebach. What a Helig as you see it, we hear all about him on the yard sites, and a lot of more stories, information coming out about him. You know, in the later years, it's a big it's a big following. So I would say he's a big inspiration, and also the Chabad world, which I'm connected to. All the Chabad Groners are all my cousins, so we're family there. So I would say that the two projects that I did, the Shlomo Karlbach project and the Chabad project, are the closest to me. But they're pretty much the only thing I did. So give out everything I did is close to me.
Okay. Um, who did you who did you get inspired by, both Jewish and non-Jewish singers, to start singing?
Mhm. Um, mm. So I think that again, the musical inspiration I would say is is a heavily Karlbach inspired idea. Actual so like just if you understand like his whole thing, his whole gang, wie man sagt, it's not really a performance or a singer. Like there's not really much to take. But I was very mesmerized by his compositions. He has although people view his music as very simple, there's a lot of very deep nagunim there and a lot of very musical nagunim. Like the most basic example, the old Mem Kaimcha. Mem Kaimcha. Like it's just who makes that up? It sounds like it's from 1,000 years ago, from some crazy composer. He lived he lived in our time, and he made that song up. So I think that I don't have a specific person that I or at least in the beginning to get into it to emulate. But I think it just like I said, it happened by evolution. It evolved into what it is. But I definitely look at other. I mean, at least lately, other performers, other singers, other people. You always want to pick up good things from people, good tips from guitar players or singers. So in the singing world, you try to take good things from everyone. A stage presence from this guy, a comfortable, laid back, loose nature from the other guy, and maybe a vocal tip from the third guy. But there's things to learn from everyone.
Okay. Why did you why did you decide to become a singer?
So again, we're gonna piggyback off of the answers that have been given up
Yeah.
until this point. It's there was no decision, there was no pivotal moment. Like I said, it happened. It happened. This is where I am now. By the way, I only recently realized that I'm a singer. I mean, whatever. I'm still trying to find myself, but I think I was known more as like a guitar player who sang, but I'm really a singer who plays a little guitar in the background and mostly to cover up my bike, so it doesn't look so big. But yeah, that's the answer. I didn't really decide I'm becoming a singer. Now I'm a singer. I could maybe try to veer my career, my brand, if you will, in that direction by displaying myself as more of a, but like I don't know. I didn't decide at one moment or another that I'm becoming a singer. It just like I said, it happened. Oh, Hashem.
Okay. Are you coming out with any new stuff?
So I have a couple things in the works. I have a couple things in the works. It's a project. So it's the very beginning stages, but as everyone knows in this industry or even outside the industry, when you have something in the works, it's a long time coming. It's a big long process, and it takes longer than expected
Yeah.
usually. So I hope you'll hear it very very soon. But I have no timeline on it. But yes, there are things in the works.
Um, what what's the most rewarding part about singing?
I think I think it's an obvious answer when when people come and they say that they're inspired. Like your mamish never know. About the Shlomo always used to say, you never know what krechts, what song, what niggin, what performance, what chuppah, what gig, what sheva brachas, what yom neram davening is gonna, how it's gonna affect another yid, another person, what they're going through. Just as recently as the other day, someone texted me, "Wow, I just looked at your status and you were singing a nice niggin, a space, ani mamen," and I was in a certain zone, and Baruch Hashem had helped me, move on. Like I don't even know what that means, to be honest. I mamish don't know what that means, but these are the messages that people in our industry get. Baruch Hashem, it's you know, it's a tremendous cost. I think that's the most rewarding part, and when you know that like you're doing it, and it's not just hitting the walls. There's people listening, and there's people, maybe even it's affecting them positively. I think that's rewarding.
Yeah. Um, Who did you record with and who did you perform with on stage?
So I've never really been on like a concert stage before. But I have sang with it was my schos a couple of times. I was actually to sing with Benny Friedman. He's he's from the biggest guys in the music world today.
Yeah,
Joey Newcomb here and there whenever I see him at somewhere. But I'm mostly alone. You know, mostly on myself. Me and the Chevra, we play music together, whether it's a wedding with a one man band or a full band or my own Chevra, like a piano player, drummer, saxophone player, electric guitar, whatever it is. That's it's pretty much me focused. Sounds selfish a little bit. It's me. It's my thing. That's what I do. I'm mostly not with others, but I had this close to sing with those big people at times. And also A.B. Rottenberg once. It was a couple of months ago. Actually, it was a tremendous close. We spent the whole
yeah.
weekend in L.A. by a certain simcha, and it was mamish my close to sing alongside him.
One day you will sing with more people.
Amen.
Um, at what age? We will skip that one because you said you really didn't plan on becoming a singer. We will skip that. Um, how skip that one? What countries have you performed in?
What countries have I ever done? A Canada? Maybe Canada, but for sure here, Američke, the hometown. I've been in a couple different states, LA, Chicago. Is not a state, but it's a city. LA is not either a state, but a couple different states, cities. The names are Chicago, LA. I've done some stuff in Arizona. Um, and that's pretty much it. And then maybe the tri-state area, but I did done some stuff in Eretz Yisrael. Did I sing anywhere else like officially? I don't think so. I don't think so. Pretty much here in Eretz Yisrael.
Okay. What is your favorite type of gig?
Um, the favorite kind of gig. I think my favorite one. I mean, there's weddings which are a whole different thing. Wedding, chasanas, heilige Yiddish chasanas are they're tremendous. There's so much crowd connection, which is my favorite part of what I do. Like mom is connecting with the crowd for real, dancing, jumping, simcha, or connecting through like a slow nig and on an emotional level. Something inspiring, something slow. But I think that's the answer. Like there's in chasanas you have that a lot, and otherwise like I play Baruch Hashem by siyums a lot. And a siyum is so special to me because like it's an honor to be thought of in the regard of playing music at such a simcha, such lofty you know such a lofty concept. Like someone's finishing learning and they have a busy day, busy schedule. I played by siyum ashas in the past. Like could you imagine a yid? He gets up in the morning, he has a job, he has a family, he has things to do, people to see, a family to provide for, and he has time somehow. And he finished shas. Like and
Wow.
and I was called upon to be music entertainment or whatever I would say the schus to lead a fabrengen of a siyam shas. So those are some of my favorite. Like anything with crowd connection is big. I could sing Pell Wall the whole day, not as fun as and
Yeah.
schnock and rewarding as singing with a crowd and sazam and fabrengen.
Yeah. Um, what kind of clientele do you like singing for? Jewish, non-Jewish?
Yes, I'm a Yiddish singer. I sing Yiddish songs, Heimish, Chassidish, Yiddish melody. That's from Reb Shlomo Carlebach. He says it also. He says, I forget exactly the verbatim what he said, but he said something along the lines. He never listened to Goyish music, just Chassidish melody in his own songs. Like that's what he does. So I'll second that, and I say that's what I listen to. That's what I That's who I, do the singing for. And yeah, that's me. I'm a Yid. I'm a Jew and I'm proud, and I sing it out loud. Gewalt.
Yeah. Last question is, what words of inspiration do you have for the world?
Uh, I mean, I'm not. It's a tough last question right there. uh, hmm, inspiration. I don't know. I think whatever songs I sing and it inspires you, that's what inspiration I have. But much else, I don't know. I don't view myself as an inspiring figure or someone who's here to inspire people. I just do what I do, and if you find inspiration in that, then it's my stos and ashreinu and ashrechem. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll find myself one day and I'll realize that I'm talking supposed to be inspiring, and then I'll inspire people. But as of right now, at this moment, Yom Sheni, Chanukah, um, Yom Shlishi b'Shabbos. This is where I find myself.
I would like to thank you for coming on, taking your time, and letting me interviewing you.
Rabbi Yehuda, it was my greatest honor and pleasure. Thank you for the time. Thank you for setting up my Zoom here, which I wasn't really sure how to work. Yeah, Shekayach, Hashem should bless you. And I'm honored that you chose me because I checked your YouTube page out, the famous interviewing YouTube page over here, and I see all the big names, Shlomi Dax and Zusha and Joey Newcomb. And
Yeah.
forgive me if I got your name and you're on there, but some really big chevra. Who else? Penny, what's his name over there?
Penny
Penny
Schachner.
Schachter. Yeah, he's an OG. So all these chevra, mamash, an honor to be alongside you. And thank you, Yehuda, for your time. L'chaim v'levracha, freilich and Chanukah. And I hope to see you again soon. I hope to meet you in person one day.
Okay, Amen.
L'chaim v'levracha.